Speaking of, let me go grab the Dirty Down Moss. It's over in the B-roll area because they're a sponsor for a podcast and we're shooting some footage of it, but I needed to finish these bases. I'll be right back.
Listen to him run.
I'm back. You missed all the streams last week? How could you, Rufus? What kind of fan are you?
I hear my phone beeping, but I don't know where I put it.
That's a problem. Here, toss me on the painting cam while you search for it, and I'll talk about the bases and what my plan is. I did make it back from the woods. Relian323, thank you for the sub. We appreciate it. 4 months in a row. So, here's what happened, stream. I think I'm a little bit underexposed. That's the opposite way. The white balance is also, oh. Whatever. JPeso464, thank you for the Prime sub. Hey Scott, I'm new here and I have a bone to pick with you. I got a bone to pick with you.
I've got a bone to pick with you.
Mr. DJ. I've avoided eating paint for so long because I thought it would have really bad taste. I mean, there's probably other reasons to avoid doing that. Can we slide the webcam over, Skosh?
Yeah.
I thought it would have really, you never said in any of your videos that it doesn't really have a bad taste. If I knew, I would have eaten so much more. Yeah, I feel like, there are probably other better reasons to not be eating paint other than the taste. Lord Scimitar, 9 months of subbing. Thank you for the Prime sub. Thank you for being here. I avoided eating it because of the cancer. Yes, there you go. Rufus Kid has it right. What up, Blake Arrow, Black Arrow? Okay, so as a refresher, this is where we started. This was my theory about speed painting was this. Maverick, thank you for the sub. We appreciate it. 14 months. Woo! I
see.
So this is what my video is basically going to say in a more eloquent way. There are so many videos on YouTube. Adric Knight, what up? Thanks for the sub. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the advice about all the production gear. I really appreciate that advice. It was amazing. There's so many videos on the internet about speed painting, and likely from me, that are like, you know, finish the model in 30 minutes, in an hour, whatever, and they just do the thing, and they do it so well and so fast. And I could never invest my time in a speed painting, like a speed painting unit, and have it be that fast and turn out that good. I know for a fact you guys feel the same way. And so I'm trying to think of a way, how do I speed paint and have it not look like ass by the end of the process? Because like, yeah, I could paint a unit the exact same way as Marco Frazzoni and just use all the same paints as his, but I want to like paint it in my special way. So, see ya, Rufus. Does the sword have a different finish? Yes, it does. Actually, I wish it was a little bit glossier. I'll show you another example where the effect worked out better. So here's where I started. I started on this model. This is the leader. This is my Novitiate Superior. This is my test model. I am trying to figure out what colors I like for my scheme and where those colors go. Like I know I like mauve. I got like a mauve purple back there. I have what ended up being a magenta, what was supposed to be a burgundy. I have a blue-gray leather. I have a off-white green power armor. And then I have a pink accent color. So I figured out this scheme through, let's call it 5 hours of painting on this model. Just messing around, painting over parts of the model multiple times. Nice split. So yeah, I figured out where I wanted the colors to go and what colors I liked with this mini. And then I painted 3 more models, and let's see if I think they were these 3. It's hard to remember. I know this one was definitely first. So my first plan, Nurgle Matthew. Wishing you well too, my friend. My first speed paint was this sister. And so I tried to capture the feel of this paint scheme. The thing to shoot for is 30 minutes. In my head it is. I think 30 minutes to an hour is totally reasonable. I didn't tally up the time yet, but I have the time written down for the steps, and I will tally it up. So I started there, just kind of get an idea. And I didn't really like what her head thing ended up looking like. It looked too much like contrast paint. Same with down here. So I started to refine a little bit. You can see the differences in the coif. I don't know if it's called a coif. What's the thing nuns wear on their head called? Thanks, Ecstasy and Service, appreciate it. The base isn't done yet, but we're gonna do more work. Cody One Kenobi, thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. So I started to apply layers of highlights to the, it's called a habit, or a habit. I started applying layers of paint there. I also changed the contrast paint, speed paint, whatever I used on that thing to make it more purple, more mauve. Started to apply layers of highlights to the magenta so I could kind of like hide some of that, I don't know, contrast just doesn't look very great on the bright parts of a model. So I started to hone it in, you know, I tried to figure it out. And then I painted the rest of the models.
Paint the rest of the owl.
Exactly. So you can't really see them all, but I finished all 10. And here's a better example of that glossy blade. So I was trying to think of a way that I could do power weapons or just like unique weapons that would like be super easy to do, but also stand out. And so what I did was I made a gradient of black to dark gray on the blade with a quick wet blend, like 1 to 2 wet blends. And then I just covered the whole thing in Tamiya clear red. And my idea was that the darkness would make it kind of look like a burgundy. I kind of was inspired by communion wine with this. This is like a ruby color. And it's glossy, so it sticks out, it pops out as interesting. But it is very little work. Hell, you don't even need the gradient to make this work. You could just paint the whole thing dark gray and then paint the whole thing Tamiya clear red or whatever fucking color you want. And then it'd be like a glossy, cool blade, and it's like it's different and fun. I see an unpainted base. Yes, there's a story behind that base. Hey, Scott, glad I could join in on the stream on my birthday. Happy birthday, Relian323. Woo! Giving me gifts on your birthday. I appreciate it. Thanks for the sub. Draction, thank you for the sub as well. Also, Nox Geek. Eon's Battle. Are you gonna play some Kill Team? I am. I got a fully painted Kill Team here. Ready to fucking go. I'm gonna finish their bases, make them look a little bit prettier. I did play a game of Kill Team at the cabin already with these ladies. They seem like a very fun team. A lot of resources to spend and use. But anyways, for the rest of the cabin weekend, after I had finished my 3 tests and my other chicks, I painted these guys. And I experimented tiny amounts on every single one, just to kind of like further hone it in. And I can see, oh, that was just a little bit. I did more things. You know, I applied layers of highlights to the thighs now. So if we compare it to our first thing here, you can kind of see some of that contrast paint atch, you know, when it covers a bright area, it does it in kind of a splotchy way. Unless you're really good at it and really mindful about it, I feel like it kind of happens no matter what. So I started to put layers of highlights over them. I kind of feathered them in, so it'd hide that atch and also brighten it up a little bit, you know? There was a chick somewhere in here, this one, on her winged shoulder thing. Instead of washing it in blue, I painted it in abyssal blue and then layered on silver, so you get more of a defined look to the wing feathers and the various details. So I just did little small differences on each one, just to kind of see, can I further refine this? But not straying too far from the scheme I developed, so none of them really look different. One thing I want to show you guys that I was really happy with how it turned out. The flamers. Did you gloss coat the Tamiya clear? I did not. It's just that glossy. It's amazing. I got some 40 minutes to paint to finish my NOT Necron OPR army. 1-page rules. Oh, not Necron 1-page rules. Gotcha. Looks like lacquered armor, samurai-esque, yeah. Look at this burner. If I told you this was one coat of fluo paint pink, would you believe me? Anyways, it's kind of that, but it kind of isn't. So what I did was I painted the inside of the flamer white, totally white, and then I painted the silver parts black. And this is challenging, having to paint that little square in a frame of black. It's tricky. And then I painted silver on top of it, keeping some of that black around. Again, this all requires some brush control skill. And then I don't think it really matters what hot pink paint you use, but I used this one, acid pink from I believe Scale Color. Yep. And I watered it down and I washed it in here. And then it collected around the edges, and it makes like the middle part of the square look white and bright, and the edges are like more saturated in pink.
Chat, you know what that means, right?
What does it mean?
He found his pink paints, finally.
Oh, I found him! 23 EDSA, thank you for the Prime sub. 16 months! Fail Not TV, thank you for the Prime sub as well. Yes, chat, Evan is correct. We have the hot pink paints back, all whatever, I have 10 of them, 11 of them.
Where were they?
They were in one of my Frontier Wargaming boxes in that cabinet over there.
So they've been here the whole time, chat.
I mean, I knew they were here. I just couldn't find them. I also found my Olfa blade that I had blamed my wife for losing. Poor Amber. Yeah, so I have this thing. This is an amazing box cutter, by the way, if you ever need a box cutter. This Olfa one is awesome. Paint job looks great. Nice hot pink phallus cannon. I mean, I feel like all guns are phallic in nature. Can we say that? Can't believe neither of those goobers announced the stream in the Discord. Hey, stream producer man, get after it. Oh. Anyways, chat, I went to a cabin. I
already did it.
I channeled my inner Vince EV, and I painted, man, I painted. People were watching movies, I was fucking painting. People were sleeping, I was fucking painting. I was so committed to having this squad done. And my buddy, Scott Hyman, I don't know why I said his full name, but Scott, who was there with me playing Kill Team, the one who's a stickler for having a painted squad.
There are too many Scotts involved in this equation
There are,
already.
there's a lot. He wanted to paint his terrain, so he wasn't actually like stalling for me to paint this squad at all. By the time we played the game on the third day, my squad was done. So no cheating happened. I suppose I got a little lucky in that he wanted to take some time to paint the terrain. Dennis 1972, thank you for the Prime sub. Peanut Butter Monkey, thank you for the Prime sub. The real hot pink paints were the friends we made along the way. I enjoy that about painting a squad. You can kind of mess around with small things, still have them look the same. Did that with the cloaks of a squad. They were all wearing cloaks. I tweaked things like painting style, opacity. Ton of fun. Fantastic. I'm glad to hear that. Hot pink for the hot pink god, yes! And on the third day, the kill team was painteth. How do you like the new kill team? I'm a big fan. Do you mean the new kill team compared to 2019, or specifically the Into the Dark one? Anyways, someone also noted that this one was not based. Like a fool, I put this one on a smaller base. I put her on one of the Tau bases that comes in the Kalnath box, not the 28 mil one.
Whoopsie.
Whoopsie. Last edition came out in 2018. Viewer, picking up a hoodie, the one I'm wearing today. Thank you, viewer. Hey Scott, never got these. So happy for you. Good timing. Thank you, man. Looking for a cool war game with not many minis. Is Kill Team good? Bro, there are so many. There are so many skirmish games out there that are worth your time. Kill Team is definitely one of them. I feel like Marvel Crisis Protocol, definitely another. You got options. Last Kill Team came out in 2018, not 2019. Okay, my bad. I thought I always heard the term 2019. Got my Miniac hat the other day. Absolutely in love with it. Thank you. By the way, if you're gonna buy this hoodie, I would say buy 2 sizes to 1 size larger than you normally do. The tie-dye process washes and dries the hoodies as part of that process, so it shrinks them. So get a larger hoodie. I don't want you to be upset that it's too small. I'm wearing an XL right now, okay? And it is a little bit baggy, but but I'm kind of in that middle area between medium and large as far as hoodies go. Anyways.
They're theoretically coming in larger sizes in the future too, right?
Yes, we did get one size larger with this new t-shirt shop we're working with. Scott, are you doing something to keep your hoodie so red? Mine's pink, which I'm into. What? Okay, so here's what I'll say. The first batch was definitely like a darker, desaturated red. The second batch that I got was way more saturated red. Am I doing anything to make him not change color? No. I don't know how often I wash it though. Maybe you wash it more than me, Mike. Any more progress on the AOS Grow League? No, but my game is coming up. Next stream is Batman Miniatures. The one after that is 2 AOS games, I believe, and it's both for that campaign. Yep. So what you're saying is I need to buy another hoodie. No, preferably I would just make a product that would just not get fucked in the laundry, I suppose. Who even washes their clothes? Just dinguses. So anyways, someone noted also the glossiness on these bases, and that was entirely accidental. I gave this a good shake, the Dirty Down Moss. Definitely I shook it as much as I normally do, and it didn't work this time. It made like a glossy effect instead of that kind of more matte lime green moss effect. So I'm gonna give it a real good shake and then apply it. And honestly, I don't mind that little glossy dark green look. That's just gonna add more variety to the surface of the base. But first, let's apply some texture to this base that I missed and had to rebase. Dirty Down needs more shaking than any product. Yeah, that's probably true. Maybe I've just gotten lucky. My buddy is trying to get me to play SOF. I was looking at Free Folk. Is Monster Mash an option with them? The best way to play Free Folk is Mance Raider spam.
Pretty much.
But I am always a proponent for playing the way you want and innovating the game, you know? Everyone says that there is one way to play a game until someone finds a better way. So be that person that finds a better way. I'm not saying that Monster Mash is like a bad idea and it's like bad. Evan would know more about that than me. But maybe you're gonna find the missing link, the thing that changes the way people play Free Folk.
I will also say that it has been said that there will be more seasonal changes or a new rule set or whatever beginning of next year. Same way they did last year. And Mance maybe overperformed a bit at the LGT. Where
the one in England?
Yeah, the gigantic biggest song event ever, which happened 2 weeks ago. Mance, I believe he was 8 of the top 10.
Woo! God damn.
Yeah.
That is.
Out of like 120 players. And it was like of the top 20, like 16 of them were Mance Free Folk lists.
Okay.
So I would say if there were to be balance changes in the new year, I would expect changes to that in particular.
Yeah, maybe that also is something you want to consider when picking Free Folk, is that they're maybe slightly overtuned at the moment. Need a little bit of work. Someone in the chat is saying that Dirty Down potentially operates better when warmed up. So let's do this. Let's base 5 of them cold after a good shake, and then we'll warm it up, and then I'll base the next 5. And we'll see if there's a little difference. We'll do a little test. We got the most powerful Ninjan in the chat. What's going on, John? You having a good Tuesday, man? Miss you, buddy. Although I suppose I get to see you this Friday. Oh, it's hard to get basing product everywhere it needs to go. Okay, cool. Who's Ninjan? Miss you too, Home Skillet. Ninjan's another YouTuber. dirty down operates better when you get dirty and down. All right, let me just pop her off her thing real quick, just so I can clean the base rim real fast. Ah, fuck, I hate it when I do that. Excellent, excellent. Normally I would encourage you to not touch your model and instead use the base, because that is the point of the base, but in that case, I couldn't. All right, so I'll let that dry while I start to work on the rest of my models. Just the bases this time. The models are all done. I don't want to paint anymore. Let's zoom out a smidge, because you don't really need to see what's going on with the painting. Ninjan is my painting idol. You can do better. Let's be real here. I'm not even saying that I'm better. No, I'm just kidding, John. He's a good painting idol to have.
Says, I'm just kidding, John. Of course I'm better.
All right. So, give this a good shake. John's a good painting idol to have. He got started pretty late in the hobby game, and he's already a great painter. So that represents great progress over a short period of time. Ninjan rhymes with Wilhan, who is my painting idol. Daryl is my painting idol. Dirty down really fucks your brushes. You know, I use my nice brushes and it worked out okay, but I will take note of that and use a different brush.
4040 Markula. Subscribing.
Woo!
With Prime. Love to see it.
Certified slap chop instructor. Be careful. Oh my God. Don't use good brushes with. Let me just say that I use my normal brushes. They're still fine. To be honest, Scott, when it comes to just YouTube videos, I prefer John's content. Here on Twitch, you're both great. But you bring out the best each other when you together. That's fine. You can have your preferences. I don't mind.
Only sycophantic praise allowed.
Yes, banned. All right. Shook it up. Shook it up real good. Before we move on, though, before I do the other babes, I will hit this with a hair dryer just to make sure it's not going to be glossy again. Because if it is going to be glossy again, that's fucking annoying. Oh my God! I think I got to get dirty down on the sword blade. Let's not have moss grow on the sword blade, please. Okay. Toss that. We're gonna turn the hair dryer on in 3,
2, 1, go.
It's looking like it's working, but I think I need to apply more. It's not glossy. It's doing a little bit of that lime green action, but it's just it's not doing it enough. And I think I have to soak it on. Is it worth it? I don't know. You know, I don't know if it's worth it.
Is what worth it?
The dirty down moss and rust. I feel like the rust definitely is. Like for a quick, incredibly realistic rust effect.
The rust is like a life-changing product.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting. You can definitely get a result similar to the dirty down, but you would end up just spending just so much time. So yeah, it definitely.
The dirty down in like one layer does what would probably take me about half an hour. It's amazing for the rust.
Yeah, I think that's legit. I think It is that good. It's fast. It's really fast and making a very convincing rust effect. And it's like significantly better than Ryza Rust, like if we were doing that kind of comparison. I haven't used the Verdigris yet. You're worth it, thank you. Someone asked if Ninja streams. He does not. All his Scotch brushes are handcrafted from sables he picks out himself, like when you go to Red Lobster and sentence one of the lobsters to death personally. Absolutely. You better fucking believe that's how it works.
John could stream.
I don't think he wants to.
It's a lot of work.
It's allowed me to punch above my weight class as a painter multiple times. Nice. Don't worry, Scott, I'm here. Why am I worrying? What up, Miniac? Today I'm cracking open my Gods of Asgard expansion for Blood Rage. Take a look at the minis. Awesome. Thought you already did that. You said they were small. Okay, I'm just shaking it up a bit more. Whoa. The reason why I hair dry in my crotch, for what it's worth, is then it doesn't bounce around and like dry paint on my palette. If I keep it under, I'm not blowing anything, you know, any like lightweight stuff around. You know. I will say this isn't like mossing up as crazy as it normally does. Crotch talk with Scott. Okay, I got you. How would you navigate needing to paint hordes? I've got too many orcs. I think like 800 across a few different games. Samzor84, thank you for the prime sub. How would I paint a horde? I don't know. I feel like the process that I talked about at the beginning of the stream could still apply to a horde, right? You're like figuring out what you want it to look like, and then you are okay, now it's starting to look like moss. You're figuring out the process that you like, and then you're making it efficient, right? Like that can work for like literally any amount. But maybe like if you are like dealing with large hordes, like units of like, you know, 30 or 40 or larger, you kind of have to just like be more realistic with yourself. So because I'm painting a squad that is 10 dudes, I can like maybe be a little bit more fancy. Maybe with like a 40-man squad, you have to be a little bit less fancy, you know, rely more, like care less about the end result and stuff like that. Okay, I'm going to heat this up now, just as a little test, with a hairdryer, and then we're gonna apply it to these next 5 to see if heating it makes a difference. All right, yeah, turning the hairdryer on.
Cool. The other reason he likes to blow dry minis and stuff in his crotch is because it feels like someone with a fever yelling at his pants. Any jokes? Any jokes I can tell on stream? A hole was found in a nudist colony wall recently. Police say that they're looking into it.
Am I back on?
Yeah.
Eon's Battle says, you want a speed paint? You got awesome paint? Speed paint is the answer. Are you referring to the specific Army Painter product, or are you referring to like the process of speed painting? Hold on, gotta clip this. You feel bad for Amber? Are you kidding me, bro? That's the sexiest face known to mankind. All right, so this is heated up. I will say that I was also continuing to shake it so that I was distributing the heat from around the edges to the inside of the material. So maybe the additional shaking also made a difference. So not the most thorough test. Huddleston, thank you for the sub.
He asks, now that you have a chair, have you considered a live patron feedback stream like once a month?
No, I haven't. But if you're looking to get feedback on stuff, I just do that for free in the Discord. Okay, it's not for free because you have to be in the Discord, which is $2. But I'm more than happy to give feedback on your stuff in the stream. Let's get that painting cam up. I don't have a preferred Winsor & Newton brush size. I don't use that paint range. Sorry, that paintbrush range. I'm guessing it'd be a size 2 or 1, but I haven't used it in like, I don't know, 4 years. Okay, so the first person we started on with the warmed up test is the Duelist. And I will say that it is drying faster, which makes sense because it's warm. And so that process of curing is gonna kick off faster. This guy uses hair from his head we saw in the video, nice. What up, Jim CY, Jim YC. Absolutely, Eperuza, I wanna see that. BX Infinite, thank you for the Prime sub. If you guys are unaware, we appreciate your Prime subs, and you can hook them up to your Twitch account with your Amazon Prime, and then Twitch Prime sub to any creator that you want in any week. You have to kind of re-up it every single week.
Yeah, it's manual.
It's manual.
But it is free. Well, it's included with your annual subscription to Amazon Prime. And speaking of which, Fringilla97 subscribing with Prime.
So someone asked about the giveaway for Baby Yaga. I'm pretty sure someone won Baby Yaga last time.
Yeah, we have a label for Baba Yaga's hut. We do have another giveaway going. I don't remember what it was though.
So we're gonna give away the Duchess. And
oh yeah, that's right.
And we're not gonna have this roll over to the next stream. Let's just do 30 subs. When we get there, I'll give away a Duchess. And that is the vampire model that I have on my web store. Okay, cool. So some of this is starting to dry and it looks pretty fucking sick. Let me just show you.
Okay.
Mike Genie with the 20 gifted subs. Bow, bow,
I guess we're giving away a
bow.
Duchess.
Grizz DR, I don't know if he started the sub goal yet. I'm assuming you can just pull from there. Grizz DR with the 5 gifted sub, and Mike Genie with the 20 gifted subs. Jesus Christ.
Mike, if you want to pay me that much, you can just send me money on PayPal. It's not a big deal.
Don't do it. Okay, we're giving away a Duchess. I mean, Jesus, you guys are amazing. Because there are things in here that I need for this stream.
Yeah, call to actions work, chat. That's what I have to say.
Okay. So Evan will get that going whenever he can, but this is what we're giving away, a box. It's a very nice box though. No, I'm just kidding. There's a model in here. It's a Duchess. You can find it on Miniac.co. It's the only model on that site at the moment. And it comes in this nice box with this nice little wrap. Shout out to Huddleston, Grizz DR, Grizz Doctor, and largely Mike Genie for making this giveaway happen instantaneously. Thank you guys. Can I get the box without the model? Does it still come with a sweet sticker? Absolutely. Comes with a sweet sticker and a little candy. And if you're lucky, it comes with a tiny little plastic dinosaur toy.
Only if you're lucky, though.
I have these little dinosaur toys that we stick into the box every now and then. All right, let's take a look at this moss effect so that Eons of Battle can decide if this is worth it. So like, that's just one coat, you know? I shook it up real good and then applied it, and it just looks like that. I don't know, like if you had to do a lot of moss, kind of like how they demonstrate the rust, like they paint an entire Nurgle Marine with the rust stuff, and it really sells it. If you had to paint like a piece of terrain that was like super moss ridden, ton of it, like this, there's no better product than this. But for just painting like a base or something like that, maybe it isn't worth it. I just want the sleeves cut. It comes with some stray dog ears, yeah, probably. You were expecting the soothing music, Lordy? Yeah, it's not great to have metal music as background music.
You know, I kind of agree, but also I think it would be pretty fun.
The other problem is that there's just not a lot of royalty-free good metal music.
Oh no, what we do is we have a live band.
Oh yeah, okay.
We just bring in like progressive metal group and just have them jam out for 4 hours.
Yeah, you know what I've always thought about our live productions? They're pretty easy and they never go wrong. So what should we do? We should add a fucking live band. You're right.
What could go wrong, Scott?
Nothing. All right, anyways, someone asked what I'm using. I'm using this Dirty Down Moss. You know, is the name Dirty Down like anywhere on this? Yo, brand, you guys gotta work on your branding. All right, let's start adding on some little shrubberies. We're gonna try something new today for the basing. We're gonna use one of these.
I have started the giveaway. Exclamation mark moist in the chat.
Moist in the chat.
As usual, we ask you if you're in a country that doesn't allow you to enter giveaways or raffles or any of that kind of stuff because they don't believe in freedom. Sorry, they call it gambling. And don't enter. If you do live in a turbo-free place, then by all means. We have shipped things to some other countries before.
Exclamation mark moist in the chat if you want to win a copy of the Duchess! A model that I've had for way too long and have peddled for way too long. All right, we'll start with some tiny shrubs. I love me micro tufts from Gamer Grass. For all my gamers out there, painters, you can't use these things. Only gamers can use these.
That's true.
Says
Gamer Grass is pretty great, though.
It is pretty great.
Don't smoke it. It'll kill you.
No.
Blue.
Weed's bad,
Yeah.
people. All right, got my little tiny micro tufts. I even like to make these even smaller sometimes. But I don't care that much. Oh my God. We can't be starting this right away, okay? Just fucking stick down. All right. Let's do what? 2 to 4 tufts a base. Holy fucking shit. How could this happen? All right, let me just wipe off the tips real quick. Scott, in the dream I had about TandyCon, why did you use the Willy Wonka golden ticket method to get 6 mini painters to attend and then get mad at me when I kept calling you Scooter? I don't even know how to reply to this. How is Gamer Grass compared to the other tuft making companies? It's exactly the same. The difference between them is the products they offer, not necessarily the quality of the individual things. So Gamer Grass just happens to have a lot of unique products. Might not be the case anymore, but they're the first company that I was familiar with that did tiny little tufts. And then they were the first company that I was familiar with that did like pink tufts. pink and blue and electric green and like weird wonky alien colors. And then they started doing these kind of things. These are like paper things.
The laser cut foil etched plants.
Well, they're not foil. I think it's just paper. I could be wrong though. We'll check it out when I bust it out. But yeah, so they have unique stuff. So yeah, that's it. These short little 2 millimeter tall tufts.
Gamer's Grass also sells pre-finished bases.
Oh yeah.
That are, man, that's a life hack. If you've got the money, because they aren't that expensive, but you're still, you're paying a few bucks per mini, but they come with tufts and paint and everything all done. And it's just drop the mini on them. Boom. Move on.
Yep. Going for a swampy, marshy green base. It kind of calls back to the green in the power armor, but also I just like the idea of a bunch of nuns trudging around in a dank forest and being really angry about it. Why did we get assigned to this planet? Fucking blows. Never in my life have I struggled so much with getting super glue on a tuft and not getting it on the tweezers. I feel like I thought I figured that out. Hades update, Chad. I beat Hades now like 4 times.
You only have to do it a lot more times.
I know, it's like now the game has begun.
Yes.
Now the Titan blood grinding starts.
I like that beating the game is like not the end of the story at all.
No.
It's like the beginning of the next act of the story.
Yeah, it is. Because this story really just keeps developing.
Oh man, it's amazing.
It is amazing. Soon we'll have a discount code for the Dirty Down stuff on top. That is true. The next episode, we will have a 10% off coupon code for the Dirty Down products. I believe as long as you buy them from their North American distributor.
And TC Gentry wants you to know that you should bathe in the Dirty Down.
Bathe.
Not actually a recommendation, but
Dusa is best. Dusa is best. Dusa is the first person I was able to actually continue to give the nectar to, because I helped her with the
Ambrosia.
lounge. The rest of the fucking people, I can't give them more nectar to until I get like a job to do with them. So it's kind of like wasteful to give them any more than one. Anyways.
You just got to keep feeding them the nectar of the gods, man.
But you can't. It like stops at a certain point.
No, you got to like forcibly do it.
Force it in their faces.
Yeah.
Am I using
Go,
super
Achilles, drink this.
Drink it. Yes, I am using super glue to stick down these tufts. Dusa is a wholesome bean. Yes, she is a wholesome bean.
Don't get the internet started about Dusa. They won't stop.
About Hades. Wait, I thought they was completely done. I'm just making them a little bit better, Vince. Technically, they were done, but now I'm making their bases prettier.
He's making them more done.
Oh yeah, when I thought that I could be proud of myself, like I was actually legit gonna I was gonna send these models. I have a little Facebook chat group with John and Vince and a couple other people. I was going to snap a photo and be like, look, I did it. I did a thing over the weekend and I'm so proud. And before I did that, Vince was like, look what I did over the course of the weekend.
What did Vince do, Scott?
It was, he painted a whole display board for Holy Havoc with a whole airbrushed backdrop, and he painted a giant ass demon in a weekend. Kill me, right?
Yeah, Vince is a machine. Let's be real here.
Yeah, so
How much time per model would you say is into these?
Right, that's a great question. So like how long did I end up spending? I would say we're probably in the hour 10 minute, hour 15 minute area for sure. I shot for 30 minutes, but then I didn't state this. I started to paint the models. I didn't batch paint them. I painted them one at a time. I don't know why I did that. I just wanted to do that. And so because of that, I was kind of being a little bit more meticulous about each individual paint job, but I was trying not to go too crazy. Yeah, probably like an hour and 10 minutes, something like that.
Listen, Vince is the mighty bull. You mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Constructed and painted, to be fair. Right, so there was like, he had like a castle. And he made the castle, and then he painted the castle, and then he painted a demon, and then he painted a backdrop for that whole fucking ensemble. And then I was just like, yeah, maybe what I did really wasn't that special at all. Anyways, I hope you guys had a great weekend. Full of hobby goodness. Pixar didn't happen. That's on Vince. You can probably share them somewhere soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if we were talking about Hades characters, Vince would be Asterius.
Vince is Asterius?
Yeah.
Oh, he's the bull?
The Minotaur? Yeah.
What? I mean, he's not like fiercely loyal to any one particular person.
No, but he is staunch, stoic, and incredibly powerful. He also spins around and destroys everything around him on a regular basis.
Any other kill teams I have my eyes on? The Ecclesiarchy, obviously. I like Sisters of Battle, so I have no problem painting more Sisters of Battle. And I actually, a long time ago, to play Kill Team 2018, I bought a ton of Sisters of Battle. I bought Arc of Flagellants, I bought Sister Repentia, I bought the Heavy Support box. I think I bought 3 or 4 $60 to $45 boxes to play fucking Kill Team, which is like how you had to do it, if you wanted to play with a non-bespoke team, and you wanted to have more options. So I wouldn't mind playing the Ecclesiarchy. I would not mind playing the Comorites, the Dark Eldar Witches and Warriors. But as far as bespoke team goes, I think I could definitely get down with some Void Reaver Corsairs, just painted in a scheme that was different than the box art. I'm not sure. I'm not the hugest fan of the box art.
Man, right as I went to the face cam, you actually started holding the mini in a place where it was on.
Well, just tell me I'm not in the frame and I'll move the model.
Well, you were like moving around doing tough stuff.
Tough stuff?
Scaver or Scaver. Hey, Scott, happy 16 months of me subbing. Got out of the hospital yesterday and really looking forward to painting some more minis. Well, we hope you're doing well.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that. 5 Repentia and 5 Battle Sisters is a solid team. Okay, good to know. Glad I bought 2 boxes I didn't need to get. Question for you. I don't like crazy display boards. I don't like crazy display boards how crazy they've got maybe, and wish they were a part of paint scores, and paint scores should be for the model is painted. Those are my thoughts. Okay, so what he's referring to is at an event like Holy Havoc, you get awards for best painted army and stuff like that. And he does in Ecstasy doesn't like how the painted score includes the display board, because that seems like a skill separate from painting. And you know what? I agree. It should not be part of the best painted army. Maybe it could be part of something called best overall, but making a display board does not also equate to being a great painter.
Rocketman Props asks, do you know of anyone painting any minis for Space Station Zero? The book art is too friggin' awesome to ignore.
I don't know of anyone other than I want to do it. I haven't done it yet, but I want to do it. Okay.
If you've been gifted a sub today, just FYI, if your Twitch account is linked to your Discord account, you're in, baby. You're in on the Miniac exclusive Discord server.
You can
You just
get
have
in.
to, you know, make sure that the two are talking to each other.
The thing. What was I gonna say?
Ah, yes, the thing.
The quarterly challenge just rolled over.
That's right.
2
New
days
quarterly
ago.
challenge.
So if you get in there now, you can see what the new challenge is. Something very different than what we've done in the past. So get in there and get after it. Also, breaking news. We have, we gotta talk about this in the podcast, John. Peachy is no longer part of Games Workshop and is part of his own YouTube channel that I believe he is working with somebody else.
Really?
He pulled a Duncan Rhodes in more ways than one.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know, GW, they just gotta put a non-compete clause in their contract or something. They keep losing their presenters to their own pursuits. Voodoo Pater, hey,
Operator.
Operator. Oh,
Operator.
yeah. Operator. Hey, Scott, gotta give you some Bezo bucks. If I may recommend some music, check out Stormkeep. Much love from Voodoo. Thank you. Is that royalty-free music or just music that I should enjoy? Link to the Discord. Hit him with that exclamation mark Discord.
I mean, I did the other one, the subscribe one, if you're a subscriber. But yes, we can do that too.
Do it all. Okay. I'm gonna put some purple flowers on their base. I like these purple flowers a lot, but also I feel like they'll look good with the color scheme that we have going on.
Purple with purple.
Purple on purple action. I'm just gonna try to spread these around a little bit so they look a little bit more realistic. Maybe
Rocket Man Prop says, a how-to for all the tiny cyberpunk freehand writing on their gear would be a great video.
I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
I think they just mean, you know, like, oftentimes cyberpunk characters will have like things spray painted on their jacket or gang symbols, things like that.
Okay.
Jan Van Hoof asks, what is the smallest and largest scale miniatures that you have painted?
I have painted 15 millimeter models. It was a very small vampire. You can see that in my videos. And the biggest scale, now I'm gonna answer this question in two ways. The biggest scale I've ever painted is 75 millimeter, just to display a model. Actually, it's a lie. A bust is a larger scale than that. The biggest scale I've ever painted is 1:10 scale. The largest model I've ever painted was a Renegade Knight. And there are videos for all three of those things.
The Renegade Knight was like your last commission piece, right?
It was. I have none. I have no more. I owe no one any painted models. I suppose that's a smidge, that's a skosh of a lie, because I have a sponsored video with Neko Galaxy, which includes painting one of their models. I get to keep the model, so it's not a commission, but I suppose that's painted, that's paid painting. But I don't mind it. I get to keep the model, and the model's fucking sick.
Voodoo Operator says that the music is music for you to enjoy. High fantasy black metal.
Ah, thank you. Actually, let me show you some of these Neko Galaxy minis that I got. Because we're gonna end up, at some point, once I'm done filming the video, we're gonna give some of these away. But if you are a fan of sci-fi ladies with a can-do attitude, boy howdy, do I got the range for you. Anyways, their whole shtick started off with Seagirl, Aikido. That's where their whole line started. Also, all the cast art of this beautiful pink resin. Hard to see. I'm not gonna pop them all out of their bags, She's got a big old machete. She's got sci-fi bits all over her. This model, specifically, this first one that Neko Galaxy made, has been painted in so many different ways. It's amazing what you can find out there for this specific one.
Just keep playing the cyberpunk theme in your head, chat.
Look at that. Beautiful concept. I'm going to show you 3 more concept arts, and then we'll look at the one that I'm going to paint. We got Yawa, Soraya, and Alice. So here's Alice. She's a bust. We have Yawa, who is a full fig sitting on his sick circle bike thing.
I've seen that one a couple times, and I just love it.
Yeah.
I love the circle bike.
By the way, it's Neko, not Nico, you fucking American. Okay, if you're my mod, I'd ban the absolute shit out of you, Eric. Soraya from Neko Galaxy. Also, can I be totally honest? Neko Galaxy sounds like it's way more in line with the brand than Neko. But yeah, beautiful model. And then what I'm painting Rosie. And the only reason I'm painting Rosie is because Bay has 2 golden akimbo Uzis. What the fuck? Full figure.
Scott, those aren't Uzis. Those are Mac 11s or Mac 10s.
This is when you say fucking American. Okay.
Yes. Oh,
So,
yes. I'm absolutely a gun pedant.
What? How can you tell?
Because that's just what it is.
Okay.
They're not really right. They're fantasy guns, but they're clearly more Mac array based than Uzi based.
I don't want to pull any of them out, Krish, because that's just gonna start something that I don't want to commit to.
Yeah, WB Minis gets it. You can tell because of the way it is.
I have Yawa in a pile of shame somewhere. Yeah.
Cry35, you are my favorite chatter right now. Hey, just saw on a YouTube video that you're on Twitch, and I'm lucky you're live right now.
Yes.
I just want every YouTube video to just every other sentence Scott say. Also, we stream on Twitch. Come join us on Twitch. So anyway, I was painting this mini and I ran into a problem. Also, we stream on Twitch. Did you know that we stream 2 times a week on Twitch or more? Don't tell them what time though, because I'll oversleep.
Yeah. If you didn't know, our stream was a little late today because Evan is an irresponsible adult. Is that right, Evan?
No, it's because Sleep Evan is always out to get me.
Sleep Evan.
Sleep Evan and Awake Evan don't get along.
Micro Uzis?
Yeah. I don't know.
How deep are we going in the gun lore right now?
I mean, they definitely weren't micro Uzis. I can say that much.
Let me just complain a little bit about supper club I went to. Okay, I don't know if you guys ever had an experience like this at a restaurant before, but I'm sure you have. I went to a supper club and it was like 6:30 or like 6:40.
For those of the people that don't live in the Midwest, Scott,
Oh.
perhaps you should explain what exactly a supper club is versus a restaurant.
It's not particularly different. Maybe Evan has more of an idea of how it's different than I do. But a supper club is something you might just find in northern Wisconsin that has an affinity for serving red meat. You get crudité when you sit down, which are like, you get like a bunch of free stuff like crackers and cheese, carrots, celery, and ranch dressing, radishes. You'll often get like spiced apple with like your meal. Do you know of like a difference? Is there more to it?
I would say that traditionally speaking, a supper club doesn't have a menu that you select from, really. Like they have like a couple things that are available each night, but it's a rotating whatever is available type menu.
Yeah.
Whereas with a restaurant, we'll have a fixed menu of, like I would say an average restaurant probably has 4 to 12 entrees for like dinner or whatever, and a supper club will have like 2 to 4 available at any given time.
Okay, so this place.
A lot of places call themselves supper clubs, but are just traditional restaurants.
I would say it was more of a traditional restaurant. They did have specials, and there was a prime rib special, which is the kind of meat that is special, I guess.
It's really prime.
Yeah, it's super prime. Anyways, we got there at 6:40. They told us that it was an hour to wait. So we were like, okay. One of the people that was with us really wanted to go to the supper club, and so there was a bar, hung out at the bar, and just waited. 2 hours goes by, and in the course of those 2 hours, one or more guests who were behind us on the waiting list got to cut us, and we know this for a fact because the hostess told us that she let them do this because they were complaining to her. And I was just like, one, why the fuck are you telling me this? It's only gonna make me irate. And two, why are you awarding bad behavior?
Scott, you're just not a squeaky enough wheel.
Is that what it is? I need to bitch more?
Yeah, you just have to bitch more.
Okay. So that was...
I'm gonna go on Yelp and I'm gonna talk about my experience here unless you seat me and feed me prime rib, damn it.
I feel like, that's what I did. I went and raided the shit out of this this place, and I was like absolutely insane. Because it gets a little bit worse too. So after 2 hours of waiting, it's now 8:40. The restaurant stopped serving food at 9. We get to go and sit down, and we go and sit down, and the first thing the waiter tells us
out of prime rib
is that there is no prime rib. There is no rib. There's no ribs of any kind, half rack, full rack. There are no shrimp. There is no soup, and there was one other entree. So 80% of their entrees were gone. And it's like, at any fucking point, hostess, you could have told me that this shit was out, and I could have left at that point.
Oh no, those things weren't out until probably about 8. This is the supper club thing, is they run out of stuff because they run the limited menu.
But I would have appreciated hearing that the moment it happened.
I agree.
Or like as things ran out, it's like, okay, soup's gone, prime rib's gone, ribs are gone. Like, give me some fucking updates. Write it on the goddamn chalkboard. Do something.
John also has a good point. Legit supper clubs will serve like, you can get PBR in a can for like 50 cents.
Oh, cool.
It's very true. But yes.
Burn the place down.
Yeah, I'm right there. Burn it all down.
Most Midwestern thing ever. Inconvenience polite people to avoid conflict with rude people.
Yes.
That's so true.
Very
Anyways,
true.
I've never been more pissed off at a restaurant than at this moment, but I was holding it together because I felt like, I was an old lady. She's just trying to avoid people getting mad at her. But yeah, I left them a pretty scathing review. We went to a nearby restaurant. They weren't serving food. We found a Irish pub on the lake. And I don't know if you guys do a lot of traveling in the Midwest, but when a restaurant's on the lake in a town like Eagle River or like a small Midwestern town, you often have to drive in on a gravel driveway past people's houses and things like that because civilization, at least commercial civilization, is not built up to a lake. It's built like in a small area, and then if you want to get to the lake, you have to drive to it. And so when we were driving in there, we're on some gravel road, there's no signs, we have no fucking clue where we are. Eventually we run into a restaurant after like driving by several mailboxes and houses, and they had food, so that was nice. But 0 to 10 score for the Twilight Lounge in Croydon, Eagle River. It was terrible. Okay, let's try. We got the flowers down. We got some micro tufts down. We got some of that dirty down moss, looking pretty nice. Let's try 1 or 2 of these and just see what they look like. We're gonna have to probably paint them to incorporate them a skosh more. So it is paper, but it is very bendy. So let's see what we can do with this. There are, for what it's worth, there are instructions that come with this thing, I believe. Pick a plant and peel it, mold it, bend it, play with its form, glue it on your base or diorama.
Satiric Saint subscribing with Prime. God help me.
God help me.
Blah, 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 blah.
All right. I'm going to go out on a limb and just immediately say that this feels like more work than I want to do for a gaming base.
Yeah, see, my problem with those is every time I look at them, I go, yeah, but I could break this so easily.
I guess that definitely is a concern. But like, if I'm basing a model for a kill team, I kind of want to go fast. If I'm basing a model, and this doesn't feel fast, if I'm basing a model for a display mini, I don't want to use paper products. So my question is where does this supposed to exist? I guess it looks kind of cool.
Yeah, I like how it looks.
And maybe we can like do a little bit more. Maybe we can hide it a bit better by like sticking a tuft right next to those kind of paper edges. I don't know. What do you think? I don't actually think I need to paint this at all. I think it's actually fine. Leo Paints here for the paper plants. Thank you for the Prime sub, sir. 2-month streak. I feel like these need green florist wire. Maybe. The variety is nice. It is.
Oh, hey, final shout out for the Duchess giveaway. We got about 45 seconds left.
Ooh,
Exclamation mark moist. If you want to win a Duchess. That Duchess in particular, in fact.
I didn't know that GW made rubbery plants eons of battle, but I kind of just shared my thoughts, but I'll summarize them again. They seem too much of a faff to use, and if I'm basing models for a gaming thing, I want to move fast. And if I'm basing models for display minis, I'd rather take my time and do something that looks better than paper stuff, so I don't get what they're supposed to be used for.
Tom Astrosci rating us with a few people.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it. What up, Tom viewers? Epic Basing sponsored Tup once. Think their plans are kick-ass? Yes, they are. But the benefit of these is that I don't gotta paint these. They're just done.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Autograph the box, Scott.
If you want that, I will do that.
Well, let's find out what they want by picking our winner. Costi623. Sound off and chat. You're our winner. Yeah, all right. All right, so here's how it works, Costi. That message that... oh, wait, no, that's me posting as me. Let me post as Scott. There we go. Respond to that Miniac one via a private message, a direct message, whatever it's called on Twitch. Whispers? A whisper. That's it. Send us your full name, your shipping address, and your email address. Don't put it in chat. That would be not good. Send it to us via a whisper.
Put it in chat. Having a hard time.
And let me know if you want that autographed box.
Oh yeah, if you want me to autograph your box for whatever reason, I will do it. Having a hard time getting these to stick down. You son of a bitch. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. Let's get the paint cam up. Ev, my man.
It is up. What are you talking about?
Why do you hate the paint cam?
I put up the face cam for the giveaway.
You hate it.
I hate the paint cam because you're not painting. You're placing things.
So? It's something that's happening. Okay. Cool. I'm just gonna do a couple of these. I don't need to do a ton of these.
He says he wants you to sign it, by the way.
Okay. Let's do that now, because otherwise I will certainly forget.
Yep.
Cool. Signed for the person. What was the name again?
His screen name is Costi.
Costi623.
Yeah, Costi623.
It'll be worth 10 seconds. This is how Scott signs documents. Miniac.
The autographed box can be exchanged for 10 tendies in selected canes near you.
That is true. That's a deal we have with Canes at the moment. Oh. You're so stuck in there. There are two other people for this kill team that I wasn't able to assemble. There's a Condemner, which is a chick with a frigging hand crossbow. Sick. And there was also a person who's like holding a chalice. And so I went on the Bits aftermarket and bought like their bodies because you still have like the weapons and stuff, but just not the bodies. I bought their bodies so I can assemble the other two. Because they're helpful to have. All right, we'll do 5. We'll do 5 with the fancy paper plants. And we won't do any kind of treatment to them. Kind of as like a test. It's kind of like, okay, if I'm gaming with these, are they really messing with my immersion? Is it that big of a deal? Like, who knows?
They'll be messing with my immersion when you're playing inside like a Space Hulk and then all your bases are the swamp stuff. Why are you carrying swamp stuff around with you?
Yeah, so that is a legit thing. And honestly, I didn't think about that until, I don't know who I was chatting with, but I was chatting with someone and I was like, just doing like a snow base. And they were like, yeah, I like snow bases, but the problem with snow bases is they just don't look like they match with any of my other models. And I was like, ah, shit, that's kind of right. And that goes for any kind of base, that the crazier it gets, the less it's gonna kind of like match with the rest of your shit. So, worth thinking about. I've thought about it, and I have deemed that I do not care enough to not have my bases look like sick tropical forests.
I will say that that's actually, in some ways, one of the nice things about a game like Song that is based on a more limited IP. That the basing there is, like, for most armies, with maybe the exception of the new Martells and stuff, is going to be temperate climates, often with snow, because of the books and all that stuff. So you get a lot of armies facing each other with bases that can work with each other. Which, if you care about that sort of thing, is kind of neat.
Yeah.
Because I do think that that's always kind of one of those mild immersion breakers, as it were, where you have like the Space Marines that are standing on like Mars fighting against Slanesh demons or whatever on metallic bases or swamp bases, and then you're playing on a game board that's like the moon. It's just like, why do we even bother?
Can we get a poll in chat, actually? I kind of want to ask a couple of questions, but I don't know how to answer these questions. I noticed the Song of Ice and Fire Discord is a lot quieter during Scott streams. I mean, really? Even during the painting ones? Anyways, I'm actually deciding that I quite like these plans, and I'm going to put them on all the bases. Because they're actually, now that I'm getting a little bit used to how to handle them and how to fold them, it isn't that much of a faff.
I think they look real cool.
Yeah, they actually look really nice. Okay, so what I kind of am thinking about for a poll is, do you guys experience meaningful immersion in a miniature war game? I don't. They look cool, but I don't feel like I'm like in the battle ever. And then 2, are you the kind of person who will not paint or play with unpainted stuff?
All right, so
I want to know those 2 questions.
I'm gonna set up a poll here. I'm gonna add a caveat here, because there is one secondary piece to this, which is some people, when talking about miniatures games of all kinds, including like D&D and stuff, they aren't really immersed in the moment, but they are in retrospect. So some people don't feel immersion while they're playing, but when they talk about the game, they envision the battle as a narrative thing rather than, that sick game that we played.
So you're saying that it's helpful to have the painted models at the time because later in retrospect, it helps to
de-gamify the memory.
Wow, okay. I've never heard that before. It's 2 separate polls. Yeah, you might be right.
My poll button is gone.
Rip the poll button.
Just do it the manual way. It's fine.
Okay, that one ain't sticking very well. It's stick a little tough down there to lock her in. Oh, you fucking bitch. Stick down.
This poll is specifically limited to war games. Role-playing games are obviously going to promote more immersion by the virtue of role-playing. But poll is started for, do you experience immersion in the 3 options? And then we'll do the painting question after.
Yeah, so I want to know if you experience meaningful immersion in war games. So it's like, is it like, I don't know, like, do you feel like you're in the battle while you're playing?
The other thing that really helps with immersion, I find, is making sure to make the sound of all the weapons.
This is what I'm saying, It's like, maybe I'm just more absorbed in like the tactics or something, and it's like that's the interesting part for me, so I don't necessarily care about like the story. I sprinkled some little purple petals on that.
So here's the next thing that Forge World needs to make, Scott.
What's that?
They need to make so you've already got the Forge World Titans. I want new weapon kits that have built-in sound effects buttons. So when you make attacks with your Titan, you have like the little action button, like makes the plasma coil noise and shoots beams and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
I mean, that's fun.
With like the 90s kids toy commercials for it.
Yeah.
Real plasma coil action.
It's like some shitty like 1 watt speaker.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like it's not about meaningful immersion and more about satisfying visuals, like a diorama. Fully painted minis on a cool base feels cooler than gray plastic on a floor. Obviously, I don't disagree with that. That's definitely true. And maybe I'm just wrong then. Maybe the majority of people that want to play with a painted army are doing so because it just looks cooler. Like, full stop.
Let's not get to the painted army question yet, because we're still dealing with the immersion question. Right now, the poll is not evenly split, but it's way more evenly than I would have expected. It's 56 to 44 for yes immersion, no immersion. Most people saying that they experience no immersion. Next biggest is yes during the game, and then a small group of people is yes, but only after. So.
Okay. So your 32 millimeter mirror on a large perforated base to hide the speaker.
I think I would really only expect this for larger stuff. Things on the level of like a knight or bigger. You have like an alternate torso or weapons that have the little perforations and the chintzy little like 1 centimeter walkie-talkie speaker, 4 clickable buttons. You could have one of them be like a war cry for the Emperor.
Straight up action figure.
Yep.
I've stopped painting for a year for different reasons. How should I prepare my colors after? What do you mean by prepare your colors? What does that mean?
Prepare your colors.
Prepare.
I don't think a year is generally long enough that you're going to experience anything more than needing to just shake the bejesus out of your paints.
Oh, is that what you mean? Like,
I think they just mean their stuff has been sitting. I didn't paint over the course of like the main part of the pandemic. You know, I didn't touch a paintbrush for about 18 months, and the vast majority of my stuff was just a short masturbatory session away from it being back to being useful.
Jesus Christ. It's all about remembering the rules, and that messes with my immersion. Interesting. That's kind of a thought. It's like, okay, maybe I shouldn't overburden my rules if I'm trying to create a game that has more of a storytelling appeal. You know, if I'm trying to create a narrative experience.
I mean, you say that, and yet D&D would be often called a pretty immersive game, and that rule set is actually pretty big.
Yeah, but what do you think about what that guy said? Do you think D&D could be even more immersive if it wasn't trying to placate you with rules?
I think some people absolutely have that issue with some role-playing games, including D&D. I mean, there are role-playing games that the rule set is 2 pages, specifically for that reason. Let the rules get out of the way.
Is that Kids on Bikes? Is that a small rule set?
I think Kids on Bikes is a little bigger than that. I was thinking of, I think it's called Feelings and Lasers, which is a 1-page rules type thing.
Okay. It's worth mentioning that some
Free
of these
Refill
plans...
says, Evan, D&D combat versus D&D out of combat and RP, they have different immersion. That's true to some degree. The truth is most of D&D's rules are wargaming rules. You know, 80% of its rules text is how to fight things and how spells work and all that stuff. But they still do have a lot of rules about how social interaction works. You know, you have persuasion checks and things like that rather than just you sitting around the table and talking. So,
for what it's worth, some of these plants have 2 petals, some have 3, some have 4, so there is a decent amount of variety built into the sheet.
That's cool. Can you stack them?
Oh, you definitely can. If you want to create a more elaborate plant, you definitely can.
Make it look real.
Layers.
Elric the Sorcerer asks, "Hey, yo, Miniac, are we getting a video of you painting a BattleTech mini sometime in the future?"
Probably not.
Every stream.
Ah.
Anytime anyone asks about BattleTech, I will pass it on. I promise.
All right, a bunch of lovely little jungle bases. Let me just finish up this one. So I did a zenithal undercoat. So in order to mimic that zenithal undercoat for the purposes of basing, we'll just kind of give it a little overbrush with the color that I used when I was zenithally applying it, which was Rotting Flesh. Narrative games usually generate immersion in themselves, but tournament play is too hectic for that. Thoughts on epic basing, Scott? I love it.
That's a good point. Maybe I should have put that in the poll.
A while ago, what was I gonna say? A while ago, I had an idea for like a product where I was like, I'm gonna make a fantasy set or a sci-fi set of basing terrain that I'll cast in resin. And then people will buy that kit when they want like some flowers or tree branches or an owl or whatever the fuck. And I'm pretty sure when I said that out loud, there were people that are already doing that. So it's not like I was a genius or anything. But that's basically what epic basing does. They have a ton of awesome variety, and it's better than a boxed product in some ways because you can just fucking print the thing you need instead of like running out of like butterflies and needing to buy the whole damn kit again because you just want butterflies, you know? So I dig it. I think they're a cool company. They got a ton of cool things. Some of that stuff's a little cartoony, but that really isn't that big of a deal. Because it's a fucking base. It's like no one's looking at your base and being like, that cactus is out of scale. Like if they are, fuck them.
That cactus is too big.
I can tell the species of that cactus. Okay, guy.
I'm an expert in xenobiology, and I can tell you that the cactuses of Cetus Prime are taller than that.
Not even real cactuses. Alien cacti.
That's right. You haven't even read the Codex Astartes book on this?
There are no planets like that on this planet.
Yeah. Actually, their home planet is mostly frost, so you should have done ice bases. Your artistic choices are wrong.
If the cactus is out of scale, it's an alien cactus. All right. So what I did for these bases, it was very simple. The Zenithal Undercoat, I first hit it with a lot of contrast paint. This is probably actually too much. Yeah, I'm gonna actually take some off. I'm gonna close this bottle too. Crucial step 2.
Elric, I will answer that question for Scott since I've already tortured him once with BattleTech. Scott has no strong feelings on the game itself because he has never played it, but he has not had his attention captured by the minis, which is the thing that draws him into games more than anything else.
Dead on.
At some point, I'm going to get Scott to play it with me, but I have to get good at it and understand the game before that happens, because I don't intro people to games unless I actually know how they're played.
I feel like there are, from what I've heard about Kill Team, there's definitely, BattleTech. There are definitely things about it that I would really like. Like, I really love a crunchy fucking game. Like, last night we sat down and played Scythe for like 4 hours. I fucking love that. I don't mind sitting around and playing a really intense rule set for a long time. It just needs to make sense. You know, it needs, like, all those rules need to exist for a purpose. They can't just be like, over the top for no reason. I'm gonna dry this.
All right. By the way, the whole results came in. I'll tell them to you while you blow dry it. No was the biggest winner at 57% of people say they don't experience it. But yes, during the game was the second biggest with 35% of the people saying yes. And then yes after was the remainder at 7%. So I'd say that's pretty substantial. I have a strong feeling that when we do play, Scott will actually really like the rule set of BattleTech. But, admittedly, the minis are just kind of blocky robots, and if you're not into that sort of thing, you're really not into that sort of thing. So. Yeah? Well, get wrecked, nerd.
Might be going down. Stream might drop. Apparently there are internet issues.
Oh yeah, our chat just went down. Stream is still reporting as being connected. So.
Interesting.
Oh yeah. No internet access. But again, stream still shows being connected in the app.
Spotify went down for me, and then
Ooh, that looks fucking sick. That shot looks sick.
yeah, I had some fun with lighting a few days ago.
All the LEDs that are blinking, I believe, are blinking the right colors.
It's the ones that are below the power.
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot of things to look at. One is like, I mean, I'm number 1, you're number 3. You have that bottom light right there. That's good. That means you have uplink of 1 gig, so you're getting that. The 6 is the streaming computer. That's good. That
Yeah, I
gold
think
means
our
internet.
outbound connection is dead, Scott.
Fine. It's blue, it's fine. That's the LAN connection. It's plugged into a router, so it's blinking. And then that, I feel like that maybe is having an issue.
That's the actual router.
Yeah, that's the router. Yeah, man, I don't know what the fuck is the problem. I could try turning it off and on again. I feel like typically there's like a pink LED over there, and I'm seeing
We're
a
back
red one.
up.
What?
We're back up.
Okay, we're apparently back up. That looks like you used. Did you use fog for that?
No.
Looks like you did haze or something. Looks awesome.
Don't know what happened. Our internet just died. In fairness, this one's not on the setup.
Yeah.
Probably external.
Don't leave.
Because all the computers went down. So
Yeah, that was. Sorry about that stream. Definitely was an internet issue. You didn't miss much. I just applied some dirty down moss to this base, and that was it.
yeah, and I was saying that I was talking about BattleTech. I think Scott will really like the rules of the game.
Let's tell people in the chat to refresh.
Oh yeah. Well, the people are in chat are all yelling, "We back, baby."
Yes.
Scott will appreciate the rules of BattleTech mostly, I'm sure, but he'll continue to struggle with the fact that all the minis are basically boxy robots.
But we could find different models.
That's true. We could proxy them. Although you're not really super into robot minis in general.
Yeah, I'm not so much. Maybe ones that are more humanoid looking. Like Vince showed me one that a guy had like a samurai sword that looked really kind of cool, and he had more like of a human proportions and body type.
Yeah, I mean, we could use like infinity robots.
Oh yeah, or that.
I mean, like some of them are. We could even actually use the bigger robots and just scale up the game because it's a hex-based game.
Okay.
So you just go, oh yeah, well, with the bases 50% bigger, we just print out a hex mat that's got 50% bigger hexes.
There you go. Someone said use
Gundam models.
Gundam models.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down for that, but that's a really scaled up game.
Medieval mechs? Yeah, bro, where are the mechs? I look like fucking knights. Show me the knight mechs. I want that. I bet Scott would like a Kodiak, maybe an Executioner. So someone, Mike mentioned that I would like the overheating thing, and he's right. I love games that have a give and take mechanic to them.
Yep.
And so like there's a lot of like resource management in BattleTech with like how many heat sinks do you want to put on a gun? How much heat does it generate when you use it? It's like it feels like nothing in the game is free, which kind of feels cool. There's a lot of things to manage, and I do enjoy managing resources in the game.
Yeah, we talked about it a bit when Vince was in town. Vince was talking about, you know, all the different ways that you can run BattleTech, running it Solaris-wise, where it's just one mech versus one mech. I think that would be a lot of fun, potentially.
1v1. What's the name of the rule set for BattleTech? That's like the new one? Alpha?
There is a new version called Alpha Strike.
Alpha Strike. Okay.
Which is like more pared down, streamlined rule set. I honestly think that you would probably like traditional BattleTech more.
I did say I like a complicated rule set. I don't want to spend multiple days playing a game.
It only spirals out of control when you get into big army stuff.
Okay.
Because BattleTech's rule set, and again, I'm not an expert on this, but my understanding is it's scalable enough that you can play it with one mech versus one mech up to, forces of 20 or 30 on each side. And obviously, the more stuff you add, the longer it takes.
That sounds reasonable. Stoutfish, I have now heard from just so many people that I should play the Flesh and Blood tabletop collector. What is TCG? Collector
Trading card game?
Trading, that's what the T is. See, in my world, they're called CCGs. collector card game. And
Yeah.
LCG's living card games, TCG.
I think TCG is the new term,
Okay.
or maybe I have it backwards. I think one of them was the term that they used for like Magic back in the late 90s and early 2000s, and then it became CCGs.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's it,
Okay.
but I don't know.
I'll do whatever everyone else does. I don't really care.
Living card game is copyrighted by Fantasy Flight, apparently.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. That's hilarious. Dude, who cares, man? Who cares about that? It's like if you copyright the term car, no one gives a shit, okay? That's just a generic term. We care if like it's like a brand thing. Like no one, I don't think about FFG when I think about the word LCG. I don't know why they're grasping at that. Maybe they aren't. Maybe I'm putting on more than is actually happening. I'll slow down. I tend to get really angry really fast about dumb shit. All right.
Hey, we wanted to do a poll about painting your minis, right, Tim?
Yeah. Am I talking about you? No, we are not. We're talking about TCGs in general. But yeah, let's do another poll here. We're gonna do a poll about how many of you. So obviously you prefer to play with painted models. We know that. I prefer that. Everyone prefers that. If you don't, you're weird. But the question he's gonna ask now is, do you make it a point to only play with painted models? Let's do this. Do you make it a point to only play with painted models that are your own? And do you also require it of your opponent? Do those two questions. And then no. You can do no as well. Okay. We're gonna paint the base rims with Foundry Black, a nice glossy black. And then we're done. Living card game typically is associated with the card games where you, yeah, we know. Yep, thank you, Huddleston.
So what should our options be? All minis must be painted. Only my minis are painted. I don't care much.
Yeah.
I only play with unpainted minis.
Sure, you could. I mean, you could do that just for the sake of it. Yeah, because that's not asking preference. That's just asking what you do.
Yeah, I never paint my minis. In which case, paint more minis is a really easy bar to meet. But we know people like that at the source.
What?
That play Song and never paint their minis. And have no interest in painting their minis.
Yeah.
And they're weird, like you said.
Oh, I guess you know what? That is a good point. The same people exist in Guild Ball. Whenever a game starts making colored plastic, it's trying to attract that kind of person.
That's true.
Which actually is totally fine. Like if you're that kind of person, I'm imagining you're not watching the stream right now, but I am definitely not hating on those kinds of people.
I'm just riffing on what you said, but I
right, yeah.
I actually, in many ways, I think that's one of Song's really strong points. Is that it's a true miniatures war game, but is as approachable as any board game for that reason.
Yeah.
There are no requirements at competitions to paint your models at all. You can go to the store, you can buy a box that's pre-assembled, you can pull that unit out of the box and play with it that night. No one's going to give you grief for having unpainted minis or anything like that.
Yep. Someone said the CCG is the new term. All right, because apparently, TCG is a new term because CCG has negative connotations.
Yeah.
All right,
okay.
We're fine.
Sure.
Now we know. Love a good glossy black. Obviously, this is still drying, but Foundry paint is just, it's nice and glossy. Also, that Sister Superior's base rim is definitely higher than the rest of them. I don't know what the deal with that is. All right, where are we at in this poll? I'm super curious. I almost feel like we've done this before, but I want to know anyways.
Probably have, but results are still preliminary.
Okay.
Get your votes in, chat. I don't want to leave your voice out.
Chat, let us know. Notice how the questions aren't asking what your preference is. We're going to assume that your preference is, even if you're not a mini painter, that you would prefer to play a game with painted models.
Yeah. The only one that's preference is the I don't care much, because you don't think about it.
Oh, okay, sure.
Ghost of Sparta 629, it sounds like it's time to move. Find your people. Said, paint minis and literally have never played a miniature game because no one around me plays.
Be the change you want to see in the world, bro.
Yeah.
Host a game night for your favorite game. Bring 2 armies.
That's true too.
People will come. If you build it, they will come. Okay, what did we learn from Field of Dreams?
I mean, they might.
They might.
They also might just call you a nerd.
Yes. Well, obviously, don't host it at your library. Host it at a game store if you have that. And if you don't have it, host it at your library. If you don't have that, host it at your community center. I don't know.
All right, so all minis must be painted. Right now is sitting at about 11%. Only my minis are painted, 61%. I don't care much, 27%. I never paint my minis, 0%.
Hey. I didn't want to jinx it by saying we shouldn't have any of those results.
As soon as I read that result, 1 vote.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
So I'm happy that at least initially there wasn't any. Okay, so the majority of people aren't too fussed, or was it the plurality? I actually forgot.
Definitely the majority, 59% now.
Okay.
I think when it comes to painted armies, it's kind of a glass houses sort of thing.
Can you help me with this analogy? People in, what is it? Glass, don't throw stones? What is it? I feel like the guy from...
Those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm the guy from Boondock Saints.
Yeah.
People in glass houses sink ships, or whatever he fucking says. What's that analogy mean?
I mean, it's really easy to say everyone's minis should be painted. It's a lot less easy to actually always field fully painted armies.
Gotcha.
And you often will have people who are hypercritical of others, but how many armies have you painted? Oh no, I don't paint. I don't paint at all.
Okay, so the metaphor is saying don't be a hypocrite.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Yes. I agree with the sentiment.
It's in a similar vein and also similar statement to let he who is without sin cast the first stone.
Wow, I like that one more.
Yeah.
Bit of social anxiety. I got you, Ghost. That's fine. It's also worth mentioning that you don't have to play games with the models you paint. You can just paint for fun.
That's true. And you can just paint for you. You don't have to post it online. You don't have to compare yourself to others. If you're having a good time with it, that's 100% totally acceptable. It's more than acceptable. It's actually a good thing, probably.
Yeah, the internet needs less right now.
Well, not only that, but if you're happy and satisfied with what you're doing as a hobby, that's it. You're there. You have reached the goal.
Yes.
If you're not satisfied with what you're doing, great. Keep improving or whatever. But if you have reached that peak, don't keep torturing yourself. There is no reason to. If you are happy, contentment is actually pretty sweet.
Yeah. You guys are the best. You're the best too, Ghost.
Rocketman Prop says, don't expect anything from others you aren't willing to do yourself. I strongly disagree with that one. I strongly disagree with it.
I guess it depends. Like if you are, you know, incapable of doing something and like...
I wasn't even thinking about it from that perspective, but yes, also that too.
You know, if you're like a crippled person and you're like, I can't walk up these stairs and easily hold the door open for somebody, but you should fucking do it for me, asshole. You know, like I'd get that.
Yeah.
problem.
No, I was thinking more along the lines of, you know, I guess I'm capable of doing my own plumbing work, but I'm gonna pay a plumber when my basement floods.
Okay.
I am not willing to do that myself. I'm gonna hand someone money who does it for a living and is good at it and is professional at it and is used to waiting around in brown water. And I'm gonna appreciate them for every moment of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not looking down on them at all, but I am not willing to do that. I'm just not.
Yeah.
And that's why he makes $250 an hour. Because people aren't willing to do what he does.
Brown water.
That's a term of art.
Last base room.
There are gray water and brown water from a waste management perspective.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Might have to do this base room twice. This paint does not have the nicest opacity. All right, that's it. We did it. We have a fully painted and nicely based Novitiate kill team made by James Workshop. Let's pop them off here. Get a good look at the full squaddy squad. I am concerned that the bases are still drying, or the base rim, so I'll try not to touch them. And let's get a little focus on that desk there so you can see. Everybody, put your tendy downs and give Scott a hand. Yeah, let's get some clapping here.
People
Woo!
He did it. He painted a whole squad.
I did it. 10 people. I didn't, what is it called? Batch paint them. But I did it in a way, I guess that was more accomplishable for me. Oh.
I mean, you painted them together in a batch.
That's
so
true.
It's batch painting.
Yes.
All right, so final results are in. Only my minis are painted, 57%. I don't care much, 29%. All minis on the table must be painted, 11%. And I never paint my minis, 4%.
Interesting.
It's about what I would expect.
So my boy, my fellow Scott, he is part of the 11% that forced me to do this and make content.
It's funny, you say my boy Scott, and I think about my boy Scott.
Yeah.
Who would fall into the I never paint my minis camp.
Yeah.
I have been trying to get Scott to do something paint related for, I guess, the better part of a year now, because I got into song around Black Friday of last year. He won't do it.
He won't do it.
He won't do it.
Will you varnish them? Let's experiment and not varnish them. I have a lot of effects. I don't have a lot, but my metallics are special, and so are the blades I did. They're like glossy and stuff. So I don't want to fuck that up with a varnish. And I don't want to like do something where like I'll varnish them in matte and then varnish them with a paintbrush with like gloss and the import. I don't want to do that.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, yeah.
Man, I've been having problems with my Stormcast.
What problems?
My primer's coming off.
Oh no.
I continue to have primer struggles.
Primer woes, and you
Yeah.
changed brands?
I didn't, but I need to.
So it's possible that it's just an issue with
just while I'm handling it, it just comes off, man.
I cursed you, bro.
You really did.
You never had an issue before, and now you have a problem. Pro Acryl is the brand he's struggling with at the moment.
Yeah, I think that my experience with Pro Acryl at this point is this. It has the best surface to paint on of any primer I've ever used, bar none, because it is so matte.
I agree with this.
And it grips paint amazingly. It's super easy to control base coats, no matter how thin or thick they are on it. It's great. However, and this is a big caveat, if you are like me and you put your fingers on the model while you paint, it just comes off. It does not adhere well to like GW plastic and similar. And so my Stormcast, I have been knocking it off. Like, it doesn't like flake off super easily, but anywhere that's like a corner or whatever, I was just working 3 hours at paint night last night and I wore down primer to the plastic. And It's like, it's more wear than my D&D minis that I played with every day for a year experienced in 3 hours of painting. And that's not good, in my opinion.
I agree. That should not happen.
But if you are someone who only paints using a handle and never really touches your mini, Pro Acryl is the best surface to paint on.
Hey, I paint with a handle, and I still molest my models.
Yeah, you kind of, you paint on a handle, but you also put your fingers on the model sometimes.
All over.
Yeah, I'm definitely like a, why would I use a handle kind of guy most of the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I never have had issues with that in the past until switching primer brands. So,
Chat.
Monument, I love your products except the primer.
Chat, I did it.
Oh, look at this.
I keep dipping into the feeling of I finished a squad. I keep doing it over and over again and celebrating this moment. But I don't fucking care. I'm happy. They're all done. No more work. No more paintbrush work on these guys. There it is. Okay, and we'll probably play a kill team with them at some point, but the next 2 games are not. Actually, the next 3 games are not kill team, so we won't be using them. But they're all done. All right. We don't got a lot of time left, but let's start doing some highlighting on my boy Halgrim. I gave him a
We
base
did start an hour late, so any late you want to go, it's up to you.
Yeah, I got some dinner plans with my wife. We're gonna go have a little picnic because it's like the last warm day in summer.
Warm day is underselling it. It's like 80 degrees.
Yeah, that's insane. Okay. Since you've been gone, I finished the TMM on Halgrim, and I painted his bone a shadow color. If you've watched my favorite paint video, the most recent video, what games are on the docket? We got Batman miniature games, and then we got AOS 2 times in a row, and then we are unsure what the next month will bring. Anyways, let me get the focus on this guy. I painted the rest of the TMM, so his sword, his scale mail. I made him like a rusty brownish metal. Here I'll zoom into the painting framing. Apologies while the camera stops.
Jiggles. She's a jiggly camera.
So yeah, I did like rusty scale mail. I did some browns in the sword. And then I painted all of the other silvers on the back of him. And then I painted the bone blue. And so now we will start highlighting the bone to make it not blue. The spirit of the wiggle pipe continues. Yeah, it gets hot up here. We definitely experienced all 4 seasons in Minnesota.
Very much so.
Yeah, it gets omega hot.
I don't know if this is strictly true, but I say it all the time, so it must be true. We have among the largest deltas between average summer and average winter temperature here in this region of Minnesota. Because we have very cold winters and we have very hot summers. They aren't the hottest summers on Earth. They aren't the coldest winters on Earth, but we get close to both. It's awesome.
Awesome, air quotes.
Yeah. Well, it is awe-inspiring. It does, however, mean that, come January, I'm going to be like, Scott,
pay me more.
I'm charging a premium on this. I'm not leaving the house.
You already made that clear, so.
Yeah, I know. I said that up front because I know how it is. Once winter rolls around, those contract rates go up.
He needs incentive to get out of bed. Okay. Instead of using my tried and true Vallejo Ice Yellow, I am going to use Rotting Flesh to mix my highlight. This is a color I used to use a ton as a kid for no particular reason other than I just thought it was a nice cream color for Wood Elves because it has a little bit of green in it. And I'm rekindling that love. Minnesota, if you don't like the weather, just wait a week and it'll be something different. Yeah, that's the old saying.
It's not how it's been this summer. This is our driest year like ever.
Yeah.
5.5 inches below our average rainfall for the year, which, if you know anything about rainfall, that's a lot.
Okay, so I can't remember. Is this the one that I used at the cabin? All right, so whatever shadow color. What's that? I'm gonna paint over the majority of this blue color. Like for instance, I could like make sure that bearing blue stuck around in the cracks of the hair and in the crack between like where the skull ends and like this eye patch strap begins, but I'm going to not do that because I need to create space for my future layers to exist, and not everything can stick around. Not all that bearing blue can stick around, or else I'm going to have a blue skeleton by the end and not a whiter looking one. I miss Minnesota. I used to live right down the road from you on University, Scott. Nice. In Germany, we have 27 different versions of rainfall. Okay, I'm not getting the most accuracy out of this brush. ATM, and it's tilting me. Is my other brush over here? All right, we'll give this one a quick wash with brush soap just to see if we can't rejuvenate it a bit. Let's get some water on my wet palette, which is still relatively clean. Give it a good mix around in this soap. Where I live, we got 40F at the lowest and 110 throughout the year. That's nuts. We get like, the hottest it realistically gets here is like 95. Like I'm sure it's broken into the hundreds at several points, but that's not normal.
Yeah, it sort of peters out around the high 90s.
Yeah, and then the coldest it gets, again, on the reg, probably -15, maybe -20.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, this is in Fahrenheit, by the way. Yeah, so that's kind of what we experience. So yeah, you are right. It is quite a delta. For non-nerds, that means difference. I'm just agitating, man. Can you even see what I'm doing? I'm behind the chat window. Viewer, picking up a hoodie. Thank you, viewer. Would it be possible to share my get back to the hobby mini with Scott? Don't want to be annoying though. You certainly can share it with me in the Discord, but I will not share it at the moment in the stream, just because I can get a little deraily if we start showing off everyone's models. What up, Zambies? How you doing? In BC as well. We bought air conditioners. This summer I got to 35 degrees Celsius. That is pretty hot, especially in a country where AC is not the norm. So when I was agitating my brush, I saw a lot of little black flecks coming out of it. So I'm just gonna give it another round of agitation here, just to see if any other loose bits of paint. Oh yeah, baby. When you like really get down by the ferrule, you can kind of feel it with your thumb. I'm scraping, I'm scraping, I'm scraping. There it is, right there. And I'm gonna pull up. I'm trying to dislodge a lot of that paint. I'll try to fan it out a little bit, smush it in between my fingers, always pulling up, trying to dislodge a lot of paint that is in the ferrule, because that's really what's gonna kill your brush's accuracy.
Is that how that word is pronounced?
Ferrule, ferrule, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't really either. I ain't a real artist, I'm just a miniature painter.
Where I am, we've seen a minus 50 F in the winter and 105 in the summer. Nice. Always someone that
I mean,
beats
we've
it.
seen those sorts of numbers.
Yeah.
We're talking about temperatures on the regular.
Yeah, it's like what's the lowest conceivable number that Minnesotans in the Twin City area conceivably, get every single year? Like feral. Yeah.
I think,
Those are rookie numbers.
every single year or every couple years, I think more like negative 35.
Maybe we should also argue about what's better, metric or imperial. For some reason in my head, I always put these two things together. People talking about how it's colder where they live, and also people talking about how whatever measurement system they prefer is better. Metric. Fair-ool. That's not really a discussion, right? Yeah, and then there's the guy who's like, I don't want to talk about it. All right. I'm painting a skeleton, chat.
It's definitely, aw shit, here we go again.
Yeah, pretty much. Although I brought this on myself.
Fair enough.
I only measure in freedom caw-caws.
I don't know what this music is.
I can even hear it.
Yeah, I got real upbeat. I'm skipping this one.
Okay.
It's too happy.
We don't want to be happy here.
If you look real close, you can see my hand in the shot.
Ah!
And yes, I did go to a different camera view so you couldn't see me lean in. Ha ha!
He's a sneaky boy.
Keep the meme alive.
Someday we're gonna see Evan. Actually, maybe not, because now I don't know how to run the stream. Which means that he is the only one that knows how to run the stream.
I can teach you pretty easily.
Okay.
The stream is honestly completely runnable from the Stream Deck now.
Yeah, you can turn it on and go live.
Yep. All you have to do is open up the stream and load up the right preset.
I'm not gonna be too precious about highlighting neatly at this stage. We can still be pretty, he says that as he fucking dots on very specific femur bumps. No, because when you're so close to your original shadow color, it doesn't really matter if you highlight a little bit more messily. It really matters when you start to get into that brighter register. Also, I don't know if this hand is bone or if it's armor, so if you're watching this and you're like, Halgrim's hand isn't bone, it's metal. I'm sorry. I fucked up.
Well, in fairness, it doesn't look like bone because it's blue.
Hey!
It's magic.
Look at that. You can change the model based on your painting choices.
Tell me how you really feel.
I feel okay at the
Ooh.
moment. My job is easily replaced.
Sag.
Yes. There is bone on the back. Ah, that's annoying. Algrim's got to look into getting some hair replacement plan. It's looking a little bald right now.
Just got the plugs.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Also on lower details like these ones, like this like back of the knee bone area, probably not gonna highlight that up to white. So I can leave behind some of that bearing blue and some of those recesses just because that ain't gonna get the full treatment. The full treatment. All right, cool. Let's do another layer of rotting flesh mixed with bearing blue. And then we'll do a layer of it mixed with white, this mixture. And then we'll do like a little pure white edge highlight. And hopefully that'll get us close to white, or feeling like white, I should say. This is definitely, this brush, it was fine at the cabin, but now it is not so fine. Maybe I'm not using the same brush. I kind of have all my brushes that are useful to me just on my desk, which is not, it's not how you want to be. Let's see. There's a different brush that I can use. What's this one? Yeah, this is a little bit more tight. Which hard feather point brush do you recommend? You know, I've been lately using the, what is this one? The DaVinci Maestro Series 11. Is that the one I like? Let me check real quick.
What do I use again?
Because there's like the Series 10, 11, and 35. They're all, sorry. They're all kind of the same, but they have different length bristles. Man, I just put down the brush and now I have no fucking clue where it is. Oh, it's gotta be that one. Size 2, Series 10, DaVinci Maestro. Series 35 for me. I think my problem with the 35, now that I'm using them like next to each other and comparing them, was just that the bristles were a little bit too long. I wanted them to be a little bit shorter. The longer they are, the kind of the bouncier they feel or seem. And I want it to be pretty largely stiff. So now I am gonna begin to be more meticulous about leaving behind that bearing blue mixture with rotting flesh, which again is an off-white, sorry, an off-cream green color. Definitely giving us some spoopy spectral vibes. Why is the music so loud in your headphones?
That's because I'm not wearing my headphones.
Oh, okay.
Happy with where the mix is at right now, so I don't need to.
Makes sense. I want it to be pretty largely stiff. Scott 2020. You got it.
It's true.
It is. Hey, anyone who was hanging around for the gaming stream, what'd you guys think of Unmatched? I'm really curious. You just got brushes at Five Below, and they're so much better than Dollar Tree. This is a good hack. Unmatched seemed really fun. Bigfoot, super OP. Oh yeah, who won? Evan, do we know who won?
There were 2 games played.
Who? What were the forces in both games?
It was initially Wukong versus Bloody Mary. And, who did win the first one? Curtis won the first one? Bloody Mary? No. Yeah? I can't remember. Chat, help me remember. Bigfoot OP. Second game was Bigfoot versus some legendary archer lady. And Bigfoot just like used his Bigfoot to punt her off the face of the earth. Yeah, that's right. Bloody Mary died and destroyed herself. So I guess Dan won both games.
Man, bring in the fucking heat.
Yeah. You know how it is. You introduce your friend to a new game, and the best way to do it is to just pub stomp him over and over.
Yeah. I know how that is. I definitely beat Curtis when I showed him how to play Guild Ball. Unmatched is indeed restoration games.
Unmatched has a lot of fan decks and characters, which is pretty cool. I can't attest to whether they're balanced or not, but from what I've seen, I'm not really sure that the base game is that balanced. It's pretty cool, though. Also, the crossovers are pretty neat. Dan and Britt were talking at Paint Night about who was going to get to paint the T-Rex.
Yes, it is definitely cool to be able to play as Sinbad or Dracula or Sherlock Holmes or King Arthur.
I do love that the T-Rex mini is like actually to scale.
Oh yeah?
It's just enormous.
That's awesome. Spooky skeleton.
Mike, here's the secret. You don't have to buy the real Bruce Lee mini for $150. I promise you, if you look up martial arts master 3D printable mini, you will find many miniatures that are completely, totally legally distinct from Bruce Lee. They just happen to have the same build, haircut, and general style and aesthetic and pose, and maybe even martial arts poses.
Well, of course, they're martial arts masters.
Yes.
Why is the Bruce Lee 150? The models suck. The game's models suck. Why does it cost so much money?
I think that was like a super limited thing that they did for like the first Kickstarter or something like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm sure that you can find a Larus B model.
Love that.
Yellow jumpsuit fighter man. That's good. I like that. Yeah.
My friend taught me, what is it, 5 to 6 different games and has never won a single teaching game. Feels bad, man.
Oh.
Some people say that's when you know you're teaching it right. Because I was actually able to beat Ryan Bega in our game of MCP, but I don't really feel like I earned that victory. Just feel like, you know, I just kind of mostly just did what he told me to do and then won the game.
Yeah. Mostly you just had Ghost Rider in your list.
Okay, you keep talking about fucking Ghost Rider, but
he's got a motorcycle.
He didn't do anything.
A big chain.
They didn't do anything though.
He rode across the map and obliterated that guy at the end.
Ghost
Rider's OP.
I think Blade did it. I think Blade did the real heavy work.
Chat, back me up here. Ghost Rider OP.
Ghost Rider OP.
Yeah.
1-inch punch guy.
Yeah. That's Bruce Lee. Sorry. No, it's not Bruce Lee. Don't sue us.
Ah! Okay. We're starting to get some of that greeny vibe. Loving it. Bop, 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 bop. Now.
Demonetized.
Now we need some white on this here palette. So we can start getting some bright tones.
How late are we going?
We'll go until 4:30.
All right, so 15 more minutes. Chat, get your really good questions in, your last minute burning needs and desires of the text variety.
Yes. Hit me with your burning questions. Also, chat, what's the feeling where you eat food that's bad for you, and then it kind of settles like right here in the middle of your chest, and then when you try to burp, it kind of just feels like there's like stomach acid coming out?
Acid reflux.
Is that acid reflux? Okay.
Yeah.
There are so many terms. Basically, what I want to know is, can I take Tums to fix this problem?
Yes.
Okay.
Want me to grab you a Tums?
No. I don't feel that right now because I had a healthier lunch. But whenever I eat anything, a lot of bread in it, or like fast food, or just like a lot of snacks, I definitely have that feeling.
Flawless Smith wants to know how long until Duchess restocks on your site.
Okay, yes, let me explain this. I don't fucking know why, but the Duchess is definitely in stock. I have many of them. So
the site is doing something weird because all the shirts we're showing back order right now too.
Oh no! Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right, let me talk to that dude then. I asked the guy. In the past, we had a way to send the Duchess over to a pre-order state. And I asked the guy if he could just do that for all the products. So like if I ever ran out of a thing, I'm always gonna get more. People could just back order it and then I could add it back to the normal buy button later. And it looks like whatever he did fucked everything up. But I will say, has this been a problem ever since he's changed the site, or was it recent?
I have no idea. I just was on there. Someone was asking about the shirts that are on sale. And I noticed that they were on back order, and then all other sizes of that shirt were on back order. And then I was like, that's not right.
Yeah, that is
There's
not
a bunch of those shirts back there. And yeah, for those that don't know, there is a misprint on the size large of the Sprue Golem shirt. And so those are being cleared out at $10 a piece, I think.
super cheap. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like just at cost, basically.
it's not even a huge issue with the shirt. So yeah, if you want a cheap, large painting golem T-shirt, you need a large size.
Yep, you'll see it. It's an option under sizes. It's like large misprint instead of large regular or whatever.
Exactly.
No, Mike, he does not have his sprue ween out or something. Was the misprint just like colors were off, or was it something misaligned? I can't remember.
There was an issue with the teal color. There was like there's a zoom in on the photo if you go and look. Some of the teal color got like a little messed up, and there's like a little bit of a pink edge to it. It doesn't even look like it's a problem when you look at the shirt. It's just different than the stock photo that we took of the t-shirt and of the design.
Robert T says,
Robert T sounds like property.
Robert T. Lee. How do you get over the anxiety of painting a mini? I feel as if I must have the best tools and paint to even begin to paint, but I'm starting to get sad of never having a fully painted army.
I think what it comes down to is just realizing that if you just paint right now and rip the Band-Aid off, you'll realize that maybe you're actually pretty happy with how good you are a painter, despite not having everything that you need. And then that good vibe, that good feeling then kind of carries over into just painting more and more miniatures.
I'm definitely going to just channel my inner Shia LaBeouf and say, just do it!
There it is.
Do it!
Just
Don't
do it.
let your dreams be dreams!
Amen. Shia, that meme came at a perfect time. I think everyone just needed to fucking hear that.
Yeah, Flawless Smith has it right. The hardest part of doing anything is just starting. That's like me every day. That's me getting up today. The hardest part was just starting to get up.
What are we working on tonight? We finished basing a kill team, a novitiate kill team, and now I am working on finishing up Halgrim, who is like the Grim Watch captain from Cursed City. I've been going pretty gung-ho on GW products lately on the old stream. Hopefully no one minds. I'm sure no one cares.
Yeah, because you and GW have a great working relationship and you just love each other.
We do, yeah. We're actually huge friends. They invited me out to Golden Demon. I just didn't have the time, so I couldn't go. They definitely want me back at Warhammer World, though, because my presence there is usually good for business. Pain is not permanent. You can always try again. I say that, but I feel like that falls on deaf ears. So I feel like I don't want to say that anymore.
Once you're done with a mini, it's so rare. I know basically no one who's ever actually come back to a mini to repaint it. Right? They might paint another one of that same one later to see how far they've come or to add more to their army or whatever. However, while you're painting a mini, I have started over on my Stormcast already once.
Yeah.
Twice, actually, kind of. Because I was painting up a couple test guys and I didn't like how I was going. So I shifted towards something else and then I was like, no, this is worse. And I went back to the original technique and I had to start over. So it's like 1.5.
There you go. So you're not necessarily stripping a model explicitly, but you are restarting, making modifications, changing things up.
You can put a lot of layers of paint on most stuff before it starts to become an issue. A lot of layers, as long as you're working with thin paints.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the reasons that this hobby is so accessible in many ways is because it's actually pretty forgiving. If you take your time and don't work with too thick a paint, you can really just keep working and keep working and keep working until you're happy. Or you realize that you'll never be happy about anything in your whole life. Wow, that got really dark.
Jesus!
You just set time limits for yourself.
Mike said, Scott can make a model look good with apple barrel paints and hobby brushes. Our tools matter a lot less than we think as beginners. Hey, someone bought a defective large. There, you can see the picture. You see the little pink thing right there on the edges?
Yep.
That's it. That's the problem. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that sentiment. I think if I had infinite time, like AKA like 6 hours of the model, I could make it look good with shitty brushes and shitty paint for sure.
Yep. I mean, yeah, the nicer tools you have, the less you have to work against them. On the other hand, my buddy who made the texture paint error a few weeks back also made other errors that resulted in the premature death of brushes and things like that. So even though nice tools can make things easier, they don't necessarily make things easier if you're really just starting.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to abuse those tools and not understand how they work and destroy them.
You know, I actually think that people don't need a wet palette when they first start out, unless like you want to watch a video on how to set them up. I think a hairdryer too is also an unnecessary tool for a beginner. I just think that.
I basically never use my hairdryer.
Yeah.
And not because I'm bald. I mean, like, I never use my hairdryer while mini painting.
Mohand Art, raid with a party 19. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the raid. Hope you guys had a good stream. What were you painting, Mohand Art? I found that not caring about anything while painting is what works best for me. It's just grab a paint, grab a few minis, put some paint on them. It's more meditation and chill time than anything else.
You just go full nihilist.
Yes. Not concerned about the end result. You're just concerned about the process. Or you're not even concerned. You're just in it for the process. Yeah, I don't know if the guy who originally asked the question is finding any value in any of this, but sound off if you are. I don't know. I usually run through 10 to 20 test minis until I'm satisfied with the color scheme and technique, then I strip them and repaint them. Holy shit!
Test minis? What? That's a whole army.
Do you like want to suffer? Oh no, I mean that's fine. Hey, if you're into that and you're okay with that, by all means do it. That would kill me if I did that.
I mean, like, for context, like a full army of Stormcast is like 30 to 40 minis.
That is incredible, girl painting. That is incredible.
I can't even comprehend it.
That actually wounded me when I read that.
Girl painting says, I am German. We are perfectionists. Sorry. I am German. We are perfectionists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible.
My army must be perfect.
Do you thin your acrylic varnish when airbrushing it? Thanks. I think you can. Just the more you do it, the more you weaken it. And so maybe you want to apply more layers with an airbrush than you would with a paintbrush or a rattle can, if you are thinning it and kind of weakening its protective properties.
As I recall, also matte varnish, when you thin it, doesn't reach its full matteness even when you put on layers.
You are 100% right. Same is true for glossiness and satin. It's just like any other paint. The more you thin it, the less it's going to cover. We are less perfectionist than German, but more than some guys from South. South relative to what, Mohand? Mohand Art from France?
They mean the people at the Antarctic ice station.
Oh, he also said he was from France, so.
Oh, okay.
So I think he's referring to. Oh God, my geography skills. Italy? Is Italy south of France? Spain? Spain, Portugal? Those are all kind of like Southern Europe.
Sure.
For example, my Necron army I am painting now took me about 34 test minis. You know, I gotta see these.
Why is Twitch's search so bad?
Oh yeah, like why is it so fucking hard to find like other streamers in the same category?
Yeah, channels that are live.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, search miniature painting. I definitely want to watch a video from a week ago.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that we aren't gaming, so maybe that is the problem. All right, cool. That was the white plus rotting flesh / bearing blue mixture. Now, lastly, let's just do a little smidge of white. Make that bone really sing. I can show them to you. I would love to see them. I would love to see the, what'd you say? 32, 34 test mini Necron scheme. The tag's got a rework. Let me just say that the tag, like searching for another hobbyist live on Twitch has never worked for me. It's always been like a tragedy.
It's awful. It's truly rough. I will say that quite a few of the other miniature painter streamers on here don't use the art category because it's so difficult to search it. They just stream to the Warhammer category.
Which I suppose we could certainly do.
This is Cursed City. Scott, those Sisters of Battle are for Kill Team. They're not for Warhammer.
Is there a Kill Team category?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so. Maybe there's a Kill Team video game.
Oh, there's gotta be. There's gotta be. There's so many bad Warhammer games. It's incredible.
Nope. There's not a
What?
category. There's a channel called Kill Team Stream. I'm assuming that they stream Kill Team, but I might be disappointed by that assumption.
Mike Genie gifted a tier 1 sub to Girl Painting. They
Boom.
gifted 115 subs. Mike, you legend.
Mike, where does the money come from? Explain to me modern monetary theory.
Do you actually want them to do that? Drugs. Lots of drugs. How do you highlight bone? I'm like relearning how to paint a face.
Yeah, maybe we should just be streaming to the Warhammer category.
Maybe we should be. Maybe
What do you think, chat? Should we stream to art or Warhammer? Let's do a poll. Let's do a quick poll.
We fucking love our polls around here. Let me tell you.
It's a poll-tacular kind of day.
Chat, you decide the fate of this stream with your polls.
Yeah, I reserve the right to ignore any outcome that I don't like.
Dude,
Just like any other election.
he's learning. You know, that's definitely a part of being on the Miniac team. You can canvas the audience, but ultimately we're going to do what we want to do.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm so terrible about doing that sometimes.
Stream to cooking.
Like if I made a poll about where should I stream, Twitch or YouTube, it's like no matter what you guys say, I'm going to switch. I'm going to stream to Twitch.
We have streamed painting to the board games category because I've forgotten to switch it once or twice. Because we set the gaming streams to board games most of the time because there are not categories for Song of Ice and Fire, Kill Team, Unmatched, Super Fantasy Brawl, all that stuff. It's just board games, I guess.
I recommend PvP axe throwing to raise awareness for workplace safety. That's what we should raid. Viewer picking up a generic Spaceman decapitation t-shirt X large. Thank you. Thank you indeed. Appreciate it.
Bill, the real inside baseball answer to your question, which is, if you were painting for a board game, then why not stream to the board games channel? Let me look at board games right now.
Do we have an inside baseball answer to that question?
Yeah, so from a SEO standpoint, board games isn't actually a great category to stream into, as much as we love streaming board games, and I love what I'm seeing right now of what people are playing. There are 193 people total watching board games on Twitch right now across all the channels that are streaming to that category. Warhammer has 478 viewers. Art
Probably has more.
Art right now is going to have a lot more. 16,500. And so, you know, obviously we stream to you regulars on the regular. People who are following and subscribed and get the notification. That's all great. But there are always people that are just kind of wandering around Twitch trying to find something that's new and interesting, who then go, wow, look at this cool skeleton guy. And it is most likely that they're going to want to watch someone painting something and chatting and hanging out, listening to lo-fi, probably in the art or Warhammer channel, not in board games. The people who are watching the board games channel are, you know, watching games of Magic the Gathering and stuff like that. They're interested in the gameplay. Even though you're right in the sense that if you're painting for a board game, it makes sense in the board game category, but it doesn't from a business standpoint.
I mean, if it gets us more viewers.
I don't think it will.
Well, you can always try.
I think actually art is probably the best place, even though Warhammer is, like, right now it looks like it's exclusively people painting.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, it costs nothing to try and fail, so.
This is true. We can stream to any category we want. Nothing can stop us.
There are no Twitch police.
Well, there are, but they don't really Twitch police that.
Yeah. Just dotting on some bright highlights. It's a little bit hard to paint his teeth because they're behind this collar thing.
69% of people that responded to the poll that we put up in our chat said that we should stream to the Warhammer category.
69. Hey. Nice. Stream to cooking.
Bill, I think you're kind of right, except I think a lot of people that are in the art category aren't even that interested in the art.
What's Barhammer? I've seen Barhammer now like 3 times.
Maybe their W key is broken.
Is that like, is this auto-correcting to Warhammer? 69% of people are wrong. How can you disagree with 69 though?
Nice.
Nice.
All right, Scott.
Yep.
We've hit your time.
Yeah, I think I'm happy with the bone. It does not look super great.
I've got a bone to pick with you.
I got a bone to pick with you.
Barhammer equals a stupid typo that I like to make for fun.
Oh, okay.
All right.
That's fine.
I'm on board with this.
I'm the kind of person, if I don't understand everything going on, I'm fucking lost.
Well, I also think now that we should just, like, go play Warhammer at a bar.
Yes.
Just take over the pool table. It's about the right size.
I'm game. I definitely played on a couple pool tables in my day.
Yeah.
Back in my day.
All right, last question of the stream stat. Mr. Doodle Studios says, what type of brush and brush size are you using? My brushes tend to get very fuzzy after some use.
Fuzzy.
Any tips on brush maintenance?
I got a video. It's called Treat. I think the thumbnail says treat your brushes like the princesses they are, and there's like a brush inside of a tiny brush bed in the thumbnail. But I have a video all about that, so check that out on my channel. Maybe someone can find it and link it. And by someone, I mean Evan, because he's the only one that has link rights in the chat. Or a mod does, maybe. But the kind of brush that I'm using right now, to answer your question, is a Da Vinci size 2. This one's a Harbin Kalinsky style brush, and it has the model number 1526Y. This is actually, I'm testing a couple of brushes from Da Vinci, and this was one of their cheaper ones. So not super expensive. 1256Y? 1256Y.
I'm very happy with a few of my Da Vinci cheaper brushes.
Yeah.
As people may or may not know, I am the master of the size 6 brush. I like to paint with a big brush with a giant belly.
The master.
Yes. and I really, really love. Like, it's one of their mid-grade lines. I can't remember. So I did not pay like $100 for this size 6 brush or whatever.
Yeah, a lot of manufacturers. We kind of tend to hone in on one kind of brush, but a lot of manufacturers have many varieties of their brushes. Like for instance, the Sable Series 7 is like the only brush you hear of from Winsor and Newton, but there are so many different kinds that they make that could probably all work very well.
Yep. That
are of various price ranges and also materials and stuff like that. I like big brush, and I cannot lie.
I find in my limited experience with brushes, I've had better luck getting good tips on bigger brushes because the precision required when you have more and more hairs actually goes down because in aggregate they come together quite well. However, you are working with a Mondo brush at that point, which requires a lot more management of paint on the brush.
Fair.
Which I often fail to do and yell, "Oh no!"
All right, we got this done. We're gonna head out of here. We're gonna enjoy the last warm day of Minnesota before it descends into crippling, freezing cold.
Yeah, I've got my big family dinner tonight, and they were talking about doing pot roast, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me? It's gonna be 80 degrees.
Yeah,
let's grill.
Let's grill.
What
Absolutely.
are you doing?"
Are you
If I
kidding?
go over there and it's pot roast, I'm gonna raise hell.
Raise hell, praise Dale. I'm gonna go. We're gonna get Popeyes and go to a park. That's my plan.
Nice.
Sorry, Miniac, I still can't find how to connect to your Discord. Someone's got you right there with the ! Discord command. That has the instructions you need and also the ! Subscribe. Read those 2 messages and see if you can't get in. Definitely want to see those 34 Necrons or whatever you have a picture of. I'm happy with that. All right, we got a raid set up. We got someone we got picked out.
No, I found a few candidates. What are you feeling today? We did Mohawk a little while back. I think we've done JW minis recently.
I feel like is Malev live right now? I feel like I've done Malev in a while.
Yeah, Malev's live. Let's do Malev.
Let's do Malev. All right, I'm gonna send you to Malev Flow to Shinobi. I can't remember if that's the exact name. He is an awesome, super chill painter. He's the box art painter for a really awesome game called, not Rivenstone, that's Broken Anvil. Someone help me out here. He is a chill.
Tell you what, we'll rate him and you can ask him.
Relic Blade.
Relic Blade. Okay, yeah, that works too.
Played it at Adepticon, actually legit game. He also paints all kinds of other minis. So yeah, enjoy Malev. He also raps for you. I think if you sub to him, maybe he doesn't do that anymore. But that's it. We're gonna head out. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for all the amazing subs. Congrats to the one who won the Duchess. Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you this Thursday for a Batman miniatures game stream. And next Tuesday.
I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. And next Tuesday for another painting stream. All right, y'all. Catch you later. See ya.